So what does it mean to you to be a Carter?
Oh, it's fabulous. Honestly, it's like I got so much knowledge from just being around them and growing up in the way that they were and their attitudes towards the music and the fans and working and great work ethic. But also the songwriting aspect of it. My Aunt Helen was very she loved writing songs. It was her favorite thing. And so after my mom, who gave me the advice to write a song, she said to me, "Now, honey, if you can just write one simple little song, you sound pretty good when you sing and you look kind of cute, so folks gonna like you. But if you can just write one simple song like Ring of Fire,
No, no big
life can
deal.
change." Yeah,
You mentioned Ring of Fire. Do you remember kind of the moment you first heard that song and
I
did you
do.
realize how much of a impact it was going to have?
Well, I was a pretty little girl. I think I was probably 5 or 6, something like that. I'm not sure. I don't remember what year it was, but I know I was small, and we had a bunch of people over the house. So I remember everyone going, "Oh, June, that's a hit," because my Aunt Nita recorded it first before Big John did.
Really?
When I'm talking about Big John, everybody, we're talking about Johnny Cash.
Oh yeah, I kind of got that.
Yeah, I called him Daddy sometimes, but mostly Big John because we had a special relationship. But anyway, so I remember running around the house going, "My mama's wrote a hit song," in my little hick accent, really high voice.
Can you talk more about growing up surrounded by music and kind of how that maybe affected you or your personality?
Well, like I said, I was very comfortable around it. It wasn't like this alien thing. It was exciting to me, but it was the family business. At the same time, I got to be around a lot of amazing musicians and songwriters, and ones that were up and coming at the time. Like I got to watch Chris Christopherson launch, in our living room, and it was amazing. I also saw him land the helicopter in our yard.
Oh,
So, I had the monkeys at our house and they were fishing on our deck. And it's like all the things that I loved, like Derek and the Dominoes came and played the Johnny Cash show. And that was my favorite song was Layla. And they were on the stage and I was losing my mind. And it was like, so I was constantly being exposed to people around our dinner table. And then that we would go down into the music room, which was round, and we would pass the guitar around. And the deal was we called it Sing for Your Supper. And if you didn't write songs, you had to tell a story or you had to tell a joke or you had to do something.
oh,
And at one point I actually was there. And so I used to look forward to these things because as a young songwriter, I would want to have something new,
right.
to play. So one night, it's Paul and Linda McCartney are there,
Oh,
and Roy Orbison and Barbara Orbison are there, and it's just like this incredible room of people. I'm just saying those two couples because those stick out the most in my mind.
right.
And I was sitting I came in between Roy Orbison and Paul McCartney, and I was just like, my little voice was like, "You and I were friends of a kind."
So, what is the strangest question you get asked as being a part of the Carter family?
Do you want to know the funniest question I get asked?
Please.
Somebody will say, your mama married Johnny Cash, right?" And I say, "Yeah." And they go, "Do you know him?"
No, never
that's
seen him.
that's a funny one, and I've had that a couple of times.
What do you think your favorite song lyric you've written? Do you have a favorite?
Um, oh gosh, they're only jealous because I'm so cool.
Can I
No,
get
I
that
think
on a T-shirt?
yeah. No, the other. I think the one was I love you so much I hate you.
Before we go, I wanted to ask you what the audience would expect at the show coming up for your at the Halloran
We just
Centre.
don't know, do we? Well, it's a very intimate show. It is a trio. I'm bringing my guitar player and my keyboard player, who also plays guitar and harmonica and sings. But we have a rockin' little show, partly rockin', partly really traditional. I do a combination of my songs and Carter family songs, but primarily the stories through the night. I never have them completely set. I never know exactly what I'm going to talk about. Um, and it's totally geared on how the audience are
Mhm.
and what pops into my head. So it's not like I can tell you, I'm going to tell you a story about this, but usually I will say at least one thing that I've never said on stage. So, but then, there's certain things that just work, and I love the stories. So, yeah, it's definitely entwined with a lot of my life. So
Yeah.
it's basically kind of like the storybook of my life, and infused with Carter tradition, Carter influence, and then all of the influences that I've had in my crazy travels of life.